name is Susie Brokvist Lundegård, and I work as a Senior Advisor and Project Coordinator on Education for Sustainable Development at WWF Sweden. I'm glad that you have chosen to watch and listen to my short talk entitled Smart Urban Solution for a Greener Planet. In the next approximately 10 minutes, I will try to give you an overview of why cities play a crucial role in the necessary transformation for a sustainable future for all of us. I guess you are quite young, and therefore I will also spend a few minutes trying to inspire you to take action and give you some advice along the way. Cities around the world look very different depending on where in the world you are. They can be quite small, like this city in Sweden called Visby, which has a population of about 24,000. Or like this city, Mumbai in India, where the population is estimated to be over 22 million. And of course, everything in between. If you broaden your view and look at cities globally, for the first time in history, more than half of the world's population lives in cities and is growing rapidly. More and more people are leaving the rural areas to live their lives in cities, which means that cities must be expanded, become larger and more cramped. So, why is that a problem? Although cities look different and have a large variation of the number of inhabitants, they have all something in common. Cities are responsible for more than 70% of global greenhouse gas emissions. So, you can easily understand that if we can ensure that cities take the lead in the transformation for a sustainable future, it can have a big impact on the whole planet. Before the scope of the problems become too big, immediate and affirmative action is required. Obviously, cities are the main candidates for such measures. What's need to be done then? Let me give you some examples. Cities and its population require a lot of energy to heat and cool buildings, for transport of goods, private transports, factories, etc., etc. It's of course crucial what kind of energy we use. Do we use green and clean energy such as solar panels and wind power? Or do we burn oil and coal to meet our needs of energy? Do we build cities with a lot of green areas that can provide good condition for a lot of different species, both plants, humans and other animals? In other words, a thriving biodiversity. Or do we build houses and roads all over? In a city with a population of over 22 million, like Mumbai in India, you can imagine the big scope of waste it will be. How the city organizes the waste management makes a big difference for the environment and for those who live in the city. As you understand, there's a lot of important choices to be made and many ways for cities to be a part in the transformation. But sustainable urban development is not only about the green environment, or in other words, the ecological part of sustainable development. To build or develop cities in a way that doesn't overutilize the planet's resources, we must also take into account the social and the economic aspect of sustainable development. The three parts are tightly connected and they cannot stand on their own, one by one. Let me give you one example. Imagine the city wants to build a new road through an area which is currently a green space where a lot of students pass on their way to school. The goal is for people to get to the city center easier and faster by car, which is good. We need good roads to, for example, prevent traffic jam. Less traffic jams lead to less emissions, which of course is good for the environment and for our own health. But a new road might also lead to that more people use their car instead of, for example, take the bike, like they maybe did before the new road was built. And what about the young people who passes the green area on their way to school every day? If they suddenly can't do that anymore, what will the consequences be? Maybe their parents can drive them, which lead to more traffic than before. There may also be families who doesn't have a car, And due to the new road and the much longer way to school, some children and youth might even have to stay at home and miss their education. The green area is maybe a gathering place for people to interact socially, and it's surely a habitat for both plants, animals, and insects. What will be the consequences for them if the space disappears? I don't have the answer on how the city planners should think when they plan for the new road. But what I know is that it's important to look at the city development in a holistic way. What do different decisions mean for the environment? How will it affect the people? And what will be the economic consequences? I mentioned earlier that I wanted to inspire you as young people to take action. With that, I don't mean that you have a responsibility to solve all the problems. Not at all. That we must do together. But you have an important role to play, especially on local level. A large number of youth around the world are now raising their voices for the environment in general and against the climate change in particular. You are not alone. Acting together in a group with like-minded who wants the same things give motivation and strength to affect and change. What you do as an individual is of course also important, not least because you can be a role model for your friends. You can show that it's possible to lower your carbon footprint by traveling by bike or public transports instead of by car. You can be a role model when you reduce plastic bottles, eat less meat, or by reducing your consumption. But what you do together is even more powerful. You as a tech-savvy youth have a wide range of options and platforms to connect and amplify your voice. Use it to, for example, influence politicians and decision makers. Keep yourself updated on what's happening in your city and raise your voice to influence for more sustainable decisions, both environmentally, socially, and economically. We need to ensure we hold our politicians accountable. Tell the politicians and the officials how you want your city to develop in a sustainable way. And why not become politically engaged yourself? As a student I met in Zambia said, the decision makers should listen to the youth because we have new and powerful ideas about how to curb the global problems that confront us. We are now at the end of my talk, and I have tried to give an overview of why cities are crucial in the transformation for a sustainable future. Finally, here are some key points to bring. More than half of the world's population lives in cities, and they are responsible for more than 70% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Cities are not just the hotspots for environmental change, but also present big opportunities that could lead the way in transformation. Young people's participation in the life and decisions of a city is a right and an important benchmark of social inclusion. Youth should be active citizens here and now, not tomorrow. Young people are not only the future, you are the present. Thank you for listening.